In the distant future, humanity left Earth in search of a new home. The planet became uninhabitable, filled with dangers lethal to humans. Leaving it behind, the human race ventured to new stars, colonizing planets in different parts of the galaxy. But our story is not about humans. It's about a creature born on Earth after its catastrophe, unaware that once upon a time, other sentient beings lived on this planet. Chapter 1. Alone Among Many. Zair was the last representative of an ancient race of aliens called Zendra, which appeared on Earth after the departure of humans. The Zendra arrived on Earth hundreds of years after humanity left, drawn by the planet's unusual energy aura. This energy was not just a source of life for the Zendra. It gave them power, making them nearly invincible on Earth. However, the planet was far from peaceful. The flora and fauna had evolved into deadly forms, making it nearly impassable. Zair, a young member of his race, felt like an outsider even among his own. He was the last of the generations born on Earth, but his heart always yearned for something more, for the mystery hidden in the planet's depths. He often ventured deep into the forests to observe the strange mechanisms that covered the old ruins. These mechanisms were remnants of a civilization that existed long before the Zendra arrived, but no one from his race paid attention to them. Chapter 2. Message from the Past. One day, during another journey into the abandoned forests, Zair stumbled upon a strange structure covered in thick vegetation. Unlike other ruins, it was perfectly preserved, as if time had not touched it. He decided to explore it, which led him into an underground tunnel filled with a strange light. As he moved forward, Zair felt his skin tingling, as if something invisible was touching him, awakening strange memories within him. He saw flashes of unfamiliar images, tall towers, flying machines, and strange creatures very similar to him, but more fragile. At the heart of the underground complex, Zair found a large translucent orb encased in a metal frame. When he touched the orb, it lit up, and a voice in an ancient, long-forgotten language echoed in his head. At first it was just white noise, but gradually it formed into words that Zair began to understand. "If you're hearing this, it means our race has long left this planet," said the voice. "We are humans, children of Earth, but we were forced to leave due to our neglect of its fragile balance. We left behind technologies, knowledge, a hope that someday someone will restore our home." Zair was stunned. He learned that another civilization once lived on Earth, humans. Soon the voice told him that humans intended to return when the planet recovered, but the signal Zair had activated meant the restoration process had not gone as planned. Chapter 3. Awakening the Ancient Enemy. But the information Zair received wasn't the only thing that awoke in the ancient structure. By activating the system, Zair unwittingly awakened something else. An old defense program created by humans to protect their technologies. This program began to perceive Zair as a threat and unleashed mechanical beings called guards, created to protect the planet from anyone daring to enter their sanctuaries. Zair quickly realized he had to escape the underground structure. The guards relentlessly pursued him, their metal bodies equipped with weapons capable of destroying even the powerful Zendra. In the frantic chase, Zair understood that his strength, derived from Earth's energy, would not work against machines. He could rely only on his wits and speed. Chapter 4. A New Goal. Upon returning to his tribe, Zair decided to tell others what he had learned. However, the Zendra elders opposed any involvement with the affairs of the ancient civilization. They saw no point in restoring what was broken and long forgotten. For them, it was more important to maintain the status quo and avoid confrontation with the human defense systems. But Zair could not accept inaction. He knew that Earth could become something greater, not just a place for the survival of the Zendra, but a new home where a future could be built on the ruins of the past. Together with a few allies, he began studying human technologies, gradually unraveling the secrets of the old mechanisms. They understood that humanity once possessed enormous power, and that knowledge could shift the balance of power on Earth. Chapter 5. The Return Signal. However, time passed, and Zair realized that events were unfolding faster than he expected. In one of the ancient vaults, they discovered another device, a transmitter that sent a signal beyond the planet. He realized that this signal could reach human colonies if they still existed. When the transmitter was activated, a huge flash illuminated the sky, spreading across the entire Earth. This signal was an invitation for humans to return, but now Zair realized their return could lead to a new war. Humans would fight for their homeland, unaware that new forms of life had already settled on it. Chapter 6. A Future Among the Stars. Zair stood on the edge of a high cliff, watching the endless forests. Knowing that the planet's fate hung in the balance, he had to decide whether to try negotiating with the humans or prepare for war over his new homeland. In his mind echoed the words of the old message. We are children of Earth, but we left. Those who return will fight for it as their home. The fog of the future clouded the horizon, but Zair was no longer afraid. He knew the road ahead would be full of danger, but also opportunities. For now, his goal was not only the survival of his people, but also the preservation of peace on the planet that had become everything to him. Thus begins the journey of Zair, the alien who will play a crucial role in the fate of Earth and its inhabitants. Chapter 7. Shadows on the Horizon. Weeks had passed since Zair activated the transmitter. He felt a shift in the air, as if the planet itself was preparing for something important. All his thoughts were about the humans' return. While his tribe remained unaware, a few close allies shared his concern. They began studying the human technologies found deep in the ruins, trying to prepare for the inevitable contact with the beings from the past. One night, as the fog thickened in the valleys, Zair felt a vibration in the ground. It wasn't natural activity, nor the work of local predators. He looked up at the sky and saw a faint twinkling of stars, which began to dim. Moments later, the sky lit up. A massive human ship descended through the atmosphere, leaving a bright trail behind. The humans had returned. Chapter 8. Contact. The first contact happened quickly, but not without tension. After landing in the old zones they believed to be their former bases, the humans began deploying expedition teams. Zair and his allies decided to approach them. Despite their preparation and knowledge of human technology, they couldn't predict how the humans would react to the appearance of a new race that had taken over their former home. On the slopes of one of the ruined bases, overgrown with wild vegetation, Zair and his companions saw a group of humans. They were dressed in heavy protective suits, armed to the teeth. One of the humans noticed them approaching and signaled with a hand, and the others immediately formed a defensive stance. Zair slowly raised his hand in a gesture of peace, using the energy signals employed by the Zendra. But it was useless. The humans didn't understand these signals. One of them, the group's commander, stepped forward and spoke loudly in the human language. But to Zair, it was just a series of incomprehensible sounds. He tried to respond in the Zendra language, but the commander showed no patience. Suddenly, one of the soldiers, mistaking Zair for a threat, raised his weapon. Before he could fire, the commander stopped him with a gesture, but the tension had already become almost unbearable. The humans were not ready to trust. Chapter 9. Caught Between Two Fires. After the first encounter, the humans began exploring Earth with even more determination. They started setting up outposts and fortifications across the planet, gradually advancing deeper into its jungles. While Zair and his allies sought ways to establish peaceful negotiations, the Zendra elders leaned more towards a military solution. "The humans see us as invaders," said one of the elders at a council meeting. "They want to reclaim what they consider theirs, and they will destroy us if not stopped." Zair understood the danger, but also knew that an open war between the humans and Zendra could destroy everything they had built on Earth. He tried to convince the elders that there was another way, negotiations, the possibility of finding a compromise, but his proposals were met with distrust. Many saw only a threat in the humans. Then Zair made a desperate decision. He and his allies left the tribe and set out to find one of the human outposts to meet them directly and try to establish contact before the conflict escalated. Chapter 10. Operation Harmony. When Zair and his team arrived at one of the human outposts, they were quickly surrounded by soldiers. But this time, things were different. The commander they had met during the first encounter stood among the humans, and to Zair's surprise, he spoke in a simple and understandable language. He introduced himself as Captain Ellis Morrow. "We received your signals," said Morrow. "You tried to make contact. We are not enemies, but we can't trust you either. Who are you, and why are you on our planet?" Zair explained as best he could.